9.10 is about density and population density. Now, a lot of you are taking chemistry, so this could be a review for you. So, density is the measure of how much mass is in a certain volume. So, your density formula is D equals mass over volume. Remember, it kind of looks like a broken heart. So, remember M over V. So, to calculate the density of a material that has a mass of 52.457 grams and a volume of 13.5 centimeters cubed, we use our density formula. So our density formula is D over M over V. And I notice that I have a mass and I have a volume. So your mass is 457 grams over, and then your volume was 13.5 cubic centimeters. So make sure you include those units. So now what you're going to do is you're going to type it into your calculator. So 52.457 divided by 13.5. When you do that, you're going to get 3.885 grams over cubic centimeters. So because grams and cubic centimeters don't cancel out, you have to write both of them. In that case, this would be my answer then. So let's try another one. A screwdriver has a density of 5.5 grams per cubic centimeter. It also has a mass of 2.3 grams. What is the screwdriver's volume? So if you notice, this time we're searching for the volume. So it gives us our density and it gives us our mass. So density equals mass over volume. Now you could rearrange this formula. I'm just going to plug it in how it is. So our density was 5.5 grams over cubic centimeters. It gave us mass of 2.3 grams. And then it wants to know our volume. So our volumes are x. So in this case, I have a whole number equal to a fraction. So whenever you see that, you put your whole number over 1. Then you can cross multiply. So this is going to become 5.5x equals 2.3. So now to get x alone, you divide by 5. And you get 0.418. So now we have to figure out what to label it. Well, if you notice, grams is on this side and grams is on this side. So those two cancel out. So the only thing left is our centimeters cubed. And that would be my answer. So let's try one more. What is the density of the block below to the nearest 10? So it gives me a mass of 200 grams. So I can start with my density equals mass over volume. And I get 200 grams over, and then I don't know what the volume is because it doesn't say it. However, this is our 3D geometry unit, so I can find the volume of this object. So this object is a rectangular prism, and how we find the volume is length times width times height. So that's a formula you need to memorize. So 6 times 4 times 5, and that would give me a volume of 120, and then my units would be cubic centimeters. So now I can take that 120 and I can plug it into my volume formula, or my density formula, and then you're going to do 200 divided by 120 in your calculator, and you're going to get 1.7 grams over cubic centimeters. So sometimes you're going to have to find your volume, sometimes you're going to have to find your mass, other times you're going to have to find your density. So you can use this formula to solve for any of those three. So that's regular density. Now let's go on to population density. So population density, what that means is it just means it's taking a number of people or animals or trees and it's dividing it by the land. So it could be the area or the volume depending on what it's giving you. So of course if it's giving you a 3D object like a cube, you're going to do volume. However, if it says like how many people per land, like in a classroom or in a hallway, it's talking about the feet because people can't float on the ceiling. So that would be your area then. So just be aware that it could be area or volume depending on what shape it's talking about. So So let's try this one. It says, what is the population density of Buffalo, New York if the current population is 259,000 and its area is approximately 53 miles squared. So because it says miles squared, that's area. So just be aware, square is area, cubed is volume. So to find the population density, it's the number of people divided by your land. So here the number of people is 259,000 divided by, and then it said 53 miles squared. In your calculator you can type that in, and then my answer would be 4,886.8 people per mile squared. Now you can't have 0.8 of a person, so let's round that up to 4,887 people per mile squared. So it's exactly like density, except now we're just talking about people and areas. So we're going to try two together. So I have this rectangular prism that contains birds. So if there's 21 birds in here, what is the population density? So population density is number of people or animals over the land. So now, since this is a rectangular prism, we're talking about our volume. So it said I had 21 birds, and now I have to figure out the volume. So since this is a rectangular prism, our volume formula is length times width times height. When I do that, I'm going to get 5 times 12 times 9, and that would be 540 yards cubed. So now I can plug that in for my land part. Then you're going to take your calculator, do 21 divided by 540, and you're going to get 0.036 or 39 bird per yards cubed. And what that means is that a bird, so one single bird, has more than 3 yards cubed to live in. So it's okay if you get a decimal, because it's just asking you how much space can a bird take up. Let's try one more together. So in order for a goldfish to thrive, each one needs about 3 cubic feet of water. So what that means is one fish needs 3 feet cubed. That is actually our population density. Fred builds a small pond in the perfect shape of a hemisphere with a diameter of 10 feet. As you can see, I already drew that. And it fills it with water. What is the maximum number of goldfish that he should put in the pond if he wants them all to thrive? So what you're going to do is, first thing, we're going to have to find the volume. So since this is a hemisphere, we have to find volume. So volume of a hemisphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Remember, that's sphere, and then we divide it by 2. So the radius here is 5. So you're going to type that all in your calculator, and you're going to get an answer of 261.7993. So now what we do to find population density is we do the population over our land. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how many fish Fred can put into this pond. So we're going to solve for P. Our population density is 1 fish, though, over 3 feet cubed. We're going to solve for our population, and then our volume is 261.7993. So now we can cross multiply here. So this is going to be 3x equals 261.7993. We divide by 3, and we're going to get 87 fish. So now that you have learned about density, population density, I want you to try the next 4 problems for your homework and then submit it and then check your answers.